Riders up to be using their sprint train and now starting to take position, but such a wide road as well. Anyone who goes to the front is completely vulnerable to those just sitting in the slipstream. So it's all about timing, staying organised and making sure you don't get boxed in with your sprinter sitting, fifth in your row, and suddenly the road fills up all the way across and that sprinter finds himself in 40th or 50th and not getting a run at the line.
Uphill drag here. This will favour those behind. This started, this Grande Partenza in Burgas on the coast. We've been into the centre of the nation yesterday in Veliko Tarnovo. It's Sofia here. And look at the thousands of peoples that have turned out at the end of this Bulgarian Grand Depart. The Giro d'Italia is off and on the way, and it's time to launch the sprint. Here come the rockets. They're on the launch pad on the left-hand side. The blue and pink on their jerseys and helmets. It's the multicoloured Lidl Trek on the right as we look at it now. Movistar alongside them in the left, and they're on the white. You can see they're all over the road. It's pick your lines here.
Yes, pelotons. Yeah, it's when you look down there from the overhead shot, it looks like they're going at a slow pace, but look, 55 kilometres per hour, and that just tells how fast they're going out front, because they are holding off still that 17 seconds.
NSN move up as well. A reminder for them, Ethan Vernon is their opportunity. He's been winning well this year at World Tour level.
Milan Menton being brought forward by the men from Lotto Intermarché, so it is not for Arnaud Delis today. In the centre, just hovering further back, but altogether well organised, is the riders from Uno X Mobility for Erlen Blikra.
Remember, we're 1.8 kilometres away from that left turn when they will see the finish line. 150 metres to go where it narrows onto those slippy cobbles. Fingers crossed we don't want any incidents there, but that is where we will then see the finish, and the sprint will have been launched already by then. The bunch behind are 2Ks from the finish. It's 13 seconds the gap now. There's a lot of looking around, there's a lot of space. If you've got the power, you can be there.
Yes, if you've got the power and you need the men, and that's the important thing here, because you can get crowded out so quickly, and at this point you have to keep a bit in reserve but still keep the position on the front.
And what an upping in pace behind from Soudal-QuickStep, Robbie.
Yeah, well, that was a last gasp effort from that man from Soudal-QuickStep. They really got to shut this down. 1.2 to go, 10 seconds. I don't think they're going to make it, but they're giving themselves a real chance. But here it's really starting now. The sprint train's winding it up.
And the breakaway ticket into the final kilometre. How about that? Nobody would have forecasted this at the start of the day. They went away easily. Tarozzi is riding for his life now. On his wheel there, ready to go is Tonelli. Look at Kubic here. He's the Slovakian champion. He wants to give Grunewegen a chance to blast off to glory if he can. Tarozzi looks behind. They're nearly on them. 600 metres to go now. Here we go, Decathlon. It's Callum Scottson who's trying to pull them there. But the break is just about still ahead. They're going to launch this one early. It's the Rockets who are ready to go. Behind there's elbow stuff, there's shoulder stuff. Milan's there. Most of the lead-out men have been waited. And now we're going to go to a bunch sprint. The breakaway's brought back. 250 metres to the line. And it's Jonathan Milan going from really early out. Milan with Magnier on the wheel. It's Milan. It's Milan. He's well ahead, but Magnier is gaining. Jonathan Milan. Magnier through the centre. There's Dylan Groenewegen. It's 3 to the line. Magnier has his hand in the air. What a sprint in Sofia. Champagne stuff at the end of day 3 of the Giro d'Italia. Milan, as well as Magnier and Lund and Groenewegen, all close to the line. Magnier was the man with a hand in the air. We're about to find out who wins. It's Groenewegen far side. It's Magnier in the centre. And Magnier makes it 2. It's his moment. He's there. And he's the man in the early days of this Giro d'Italia.
Well, Dylan Groenewegen, he was delivered perfectly by his team, but it was Milano who's in his wheel who anticipated, went early to lead through that final bend, not yet being able to see the finish. And Magnier ranged up and got outside Groenewegen, beat him to the wheel of Jonathan Milan, and then made his acceleration. Groenewegen trying to come back, but the power of Magnier, the freshness, but the timing of the young Frenchman, just not jumping too early, riding the slipstream of Jonathan Milan and getting up and over the top and looking like, to me, on the smoother part of this cobbled surface to the finish line. And Magnier, it's magnificent, and he makes it 2.
Sensational from Magnier, and Sean, well, it is his moment.
Yes, well, impressive, and I think it was an outright sprint there. The powerful men Magnier, he had the most in the end, and what a sprint he put up, because Jonathan Milan, I think, he did everything correctly. He just started his sprint when he needs. He likes to go for a long sprint, but Magnier just had too much and came over the top.
3 to the line, Magnier raising the arm, and then there was a little shy of putting it down whilst he waited. But I think he knew. Paul Magnier beating Milan in second, Groenewegen third. That was Mikkels up for fourth, Malucelli fifth, Blikra as well as Ackermann